Hey everyone, I'm going to be showing you how to find markups and commission. So today's lesson is all about markups, markups, and commission. Okay, commission. All right, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what those are and how we find them. Now, before we get started, there's a couple of things you probably want to make sure you know. First of all, there is this thing that we call the wholesale price. The wholesale price. Okay. Now, essentially what this is when you have a store, so say Walmart or Target, one of the big stores, they tend to buy things in bulk, right? They buy big, huge pallets of something and they purchase it from a manufacturer. So if it's shoes, they might purchase it from like the Air Jordans, they're going to purchase those. If it's some kind of food, they're going to purchase it from whatever food distributor it is in bulk. And that overall is cheaper for the store, right? The actual manufacturer gets all that money for their product that they've produced. And so they don't have to worry about marking this price up at all. And so the store gets this at a wholesale price. So this is the price or the amount. This is the price a store pays for the product. Let's say pays the distributor or the manufacturer for a product. Okay. Again, so maybe to buy the Air Jordans, they're usually $60 and stuff at the store, but maybe they buy them for $40 a piece from the manufacturer because they're buying a huge amount of them, right? So it's cheaper for the store to buy it in bulk than it is to just buy individual ones from the manufacturer. They get a discount. Now, of course, the store can't just buy this stuff and then sell it to you because then they're not at the same price because they're not going to make any money, right? They need to make some money themselves. So what they do is they give you this, they take the original price, the wholesale price, and they mark it up. They mark up the price, okay? And what that means is that little extra bit, or sometimes a lot, that the store adds to their price that they're going to sell it to the customer at so that they make a profit, okay? And really, it's a percent increase. It's a percent increase to the wholesale price. Okay, and this is again how the store makes profit. So this is the store's profit. Store's profit. Okay, so they're gonna mark up this price a little bit. They're gonna take a percent of this and increase it, and then that gives them the money they need to continue being a store, pay their employees, all that kind of stuff, right? So they're gonna mark up this price, and the combination of these two. Okay, if you're looking at the combination of the wholesale price and the markup price, we call that the retail price. The retail price. Okay, and that is the price that you, as a customer, when you go to the store, you see on the price tag, right? So this is the wholesale. This is the wholesale plus the markup price. And that equals the price tag. Okay, so this is what the customer or the consumer sees when they go into the store. All right. So you got the wholesale, the markup, and the retail price. And that's how the business world kind of works in a nutshell, right? At least with finding how much something is going to cost. Now, there is one more thing in retail, or at least in sales, that you are going to see. There is this other thing we call commissions, right? There's this other thing we call commissions. And a commission, let me make sure I spell it right. A commission is essentially a percentage of money that a person like a real estate agent makes, or maybe like someone that's selling you a car, something like that. they make a percentage of whatever they sell. So for example, if I'm a real estate agent and I sell a $250,000 home, I'm going to make a percentage of that as my salary. Okay. So if I sell a $250,000 home and I make 10% of that sale, which is that's quite large. So my commission is 10%. I'm going to be paid $25,000 for selling that home, which is why real estate is such a huge business, because if I sell a big home, then I make a lot of money. That's 25,000. That's a lot. If you can sell 2 homes in a year, that's a decent salary, right? It's not huge, but it's pretty good, right? To make 25,000 on one sale. So this is part, at least, and this is definitely, sometimes it's all of a person's salary, but this is at least part of a salesperson's salary. Salesperson's salary or income, you could say income, and it's a percent of sales. Now that's not always the case. Sometimes commission is paid based on how many sales you make, and then they figure it out a different way. But commission is generally a percentage of whatever sale you make. Okay, maybe it's a monthly sale. Sometimes it's per individual product that they've sold. Cars are the same way. So, and that's why you see people that are selling cars or houses, they're so eager to get you to buy this thing, because then they make money off of it. If they don't sell, they don't make money. So that's kind of why they're kind of so at you all the time, but that's okay. Anyway, so how do we actually find markups and commissions? All right. Well, let's say that you need a new pair of shoes and you're going to Foot Locker. Okay. So say you're going to Foot Locker, and Foot Locker is paying $60 for this. So Foot Locker pays $60 for a pair of, I don't know, Air Jordans is popular, right? Let's say Air Jordans, right? Air Jordans. Okay. And in order to make a profit, they're going to mark up the price. They're going to mark up our price by 60%. Okay. So they're not making us pay double, but they're going to make us pay 1.5 times that much and a little bit more. Okay. And they're going to mark up this price by 60%. How much is the actual retail price going to be, right? So we're going to find the retail price. Find the retail price. All right. So what we need to do is we need to figure out how much more we have to pay than the original $60. So Foot Locker pays the original $60 and then marks it up by 60%. What is 60% of $60? Okay. Now, again, I've said this before. Remember that percent is equal to out of 100. Out of 100. So if I'm talking about percent, I'm literally talking about every per cent, right? Per centimeter, it's out of 100, it's a hundredth of a meter, right? A centimeter. So we're talking about 100 here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to change this 60% to a decimal. Okay. So let's take that 60, we'll take that 60% and change it to a decimal. That means 60 out of 100, which is equal to 6/10, right? If we simplify here, and we know that 6/10 is equal to 0.6, right? Let me redo that. 0.6, right? Which is the same thing as 6/10, right? 6/10, that's our tenths place right there. So our actual percent to a decimal is 60% is equal to this 0.6. And now I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this 0.6 and this $60 together, right? So we'll multiply $60 by this 0.6. Remember, decimals don't need to line up here because we're multiplying. If we were adding, it would be different, but we're not. We're multiplying. 6 times 0 gives me 0. And 6 times 6 gives me 36. I had one decimal point here. So I'm going to add 1 decimal point over here. Okay. So if I multiply those two together, I know that 60% of $60 is equal to $36. Okay. Now I'm going to be paying both the retail, I'm going to be paying the retail price, which is both the original price, the wholesale price, and the markup together. So I'm going to add in the $60 with the $36 for the markup, and that will be our retail price. 6 plus 0 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. So we get a total retail price of $96. Okay, so our retail price is going to be $96. And that's actually fairly accurate, right? You get a decent pair of shoes is usually around $100. They're probably paying about $60 in wholesale, and then they're marking it up a certain amount of money, and they're gonna make you pay the 60 bucks plus the 36 bucks. Okay. And that is a wholesale price that has been marked up to find the retail price. Now let's say that we need to find the commission. So let's say we need to find this commission. Remember, commission is a percentage of the sales, right? So let's say that you're a real estate agent and you, again, sold that, let's say $300,000 home. So let's say you sold a $300,000 home, which is actually fairly standard. It's a bigger house. That's a nicer price for a house. Okay. And this real estate agent makes 7% commission. So let's say this is the sale, and there is a 7% commission for selling this house. Okay. And I'd like to know, well, how much am I getting paid if I'm the real estate agent, right? I want to know how much 7%, what's my commission that I get paid. Now, again, this is almost exactly the same thing as we did before, but instead of using a wholesale price, we're using the sale price of the house and using that as our wholesale price, and then saying that our markup is the 7% commission, but we're not going to add them together. We're just going to leave this commission here. So again, we need to change the 7% to a decimal. 7% is 7 out of 100. 7 out of 100, right? Which is then the same thing as 7 hundredths. And remember that 7 hundredths is just 0.07 with the 7 in this hundredths place. Okay. And then we're just going to multiply. So I'm going to take 300,000 and multiply it by 0.07. And that should be equal to our commission. So we get 300, 3 more zeros, and then we have 70.0. Remember, the decimal point doesn't need to line up because we're multiplying. We get 7 times 0 here, and one more. We get 5 of those because there's 5 zeros. 7 times 3 gives us 21. And I started with 2 decimal places, so I'm going to do 2 decimal places over here. So I get the answer 21,000.00 or $21,000. So if I make 7% commission on a $300,000 house sale, my payout, my income is going to be $21,000 for one house sale. Okay, and that's a big chunk of money. It's not enough to live on, mind you. This is still in the poverty line, but it is a large sale. If you sell 3 or 4 homes, right? If you can pull that off, right? Then you would get $80-something thousand, be 84,000 if you sell 4 homes, right? So that would be your commission. Okay. So again, just to recap, when you're finding commission or you're finding a markup, right? You need to change the percent to a decimal first in both cases. You're going to change the percent to a decimal. And then what you're going to do is you're going to multiply the decimal by the wholesale price or the sale itself. Wholesale price or the sale. So in this case, the wholesale price was that $60, right? And then in this case, for the real estate agent, the sale price was $300,000. And then if you're doing the markup, right? So this is just for markups, right? Then you would add the retail, or sorry, not add the retail, add the wholesale price, wholesale with the markup. And that would give you the retail price. Okay. There we go. So change percent to a decimal, multiply the decimal by the wholesale price or the sale price to get your commission or markup. And then you'll add the wholesale price with the markup in order to get your answer.